Elgato created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Hello and welcome to round 17 of the AOR Hype Energy PS4 Oceania Championship. My name is Lachlan and I'll be your commentator for this afternoon's race. We are here at Suzuka for the Japanese Grand Prix around the Suzuka International Circuit. This astonishing track has 18 turns with a circuit length of 5.807 kilometers, also known as 3.609 miles. The track difficulty set on the game is very easy, which I would disagree with that. It's actually a pretty challenging track, to be honest, but the track record set around here was set by Sebastian Vettel with a 1 minute 27.063. Now we're going to have a quick look here at your Season 4 F1 poll. It was set by Pete Crichton with a 1 minute 25.417, and the Season 4 results, he managed to convert that to a win with Plevs and Darren Levin rounding out the podium. We're going to have a quick look now at your previous results from the Russian Grand Prix. Pete Crichton took out the win ahead of 40-22 in the McLaren, showing a very strong result as well. F1 Oceania, unfortunately getting his worst finishing position this season after that DNF he had in Monza, and Aaron L3F4 managed to bring that Haas car home in P4 ahead of X Revolution in the Toro Rosso for P5, and F1 Oceania, no surprise, got pole position with a 1 minute 30.676. And then we're going to have a quick look here at your drivers' standings as I can hear the drivers heading out for their qualifying session. F1 Oceania leads away on 319 points, 43 points I do believe that is, ahead of P. Crichton. So any mistake now from F1 Oceania, which he has shown to be doing in the last couple of races, will edge P. Crichton ever so closer towards the end of the season. So this could definitely come down to the last race if necessary. Our contrast comes home in P3 at the moment for Ferrari, has a decent lead on Sibili and behind him in the Racing Point, I should say. Plevs is sitting in P5 at the moment for Renault ahead of Dubsy in the Ferrari. P7 will be Crossy F1 ahead of J Banks in the Mercedes. P9 will be Swaggy 291 ahead of Storm McKenzie in the Williams. Then you got in P11 and 12 is your two McLarens on 41 and 36 points. And also joining 40 on 36 points is X Revolution in P13. Aaron is sitting in P14 at the moment for Haas. 15th is the Red Bull of Gaming Wafer, the Rumble in P16. Todd's the 17th, 18th to Harry Tomato, 19th Andre GGMU, also known now as Dr. Dre, so don't get confused with that, and El Tonki in P20. And then we're going to have a quick look at your constructors' standings. Mercedes lead the way on 433 points at the moment. They have a pretty healthy lead over the Williams, Rocket Williams F1 team on 362. 241 points has Ferrari's name next to it, with Racing Point sitting in P4 at the moment on 197. Renault has 120 points, 77 points has McLaren, Alfa Romeo on 56, 48 is Toro Rosso, 25 is Red Bull, and rounding out the final position in the constructors' standings is Haas on 20 points. So now we're going to head over to the main screen as I can hear the drivers heading out for their qualifying session. As you can see, there's an 18-minute qualifying session. We've already missed 4 minutes. I do apologize for that, but I also do apologize for the lag that happened at the beginning of the stream. I do need to get that fixed, but anyway, we'll get that done eventually. As you can see, we're riding on board with Spilly at the moment, who looks to be one of the first drivers to be setting a lap. Going to ride on board with him here as he's about to head up to the hairpin. He's just started the middle sector as well. There's yellow flag in sector 1 and 2. Fellow just drivers getting out of the way. Into the hairpin he goes. Gets through there very nicely. Gets on the power a bit slowly though, but he manages to get a nice turn on the exit though. So at the moment it was still Mackenzie that went fastest briefly, and then his teammate at Photomasia went faster with a 27.8, so he is currently the time to beat at this stage. Spilly comes around the spoon curve and he's heading down the back straight now. Extra Evolution now goes P2 with a 28.2, and now Pete Crichton goes fastest with a 27.6. So currently we have our two championship rivals, or the two drivers that are actually battling it out for the championship, sitting on the front row as it stands. But Spilly's just come around the final corner now. He's going to come across the line now. Open DRS, nice and wide. Where's it's going to move him up to? It's going to move him ahead of Stuart McKenzie into P4 at the moment. Only 5 drivers obviously have set a lap at the moment. Tots has moved into P6 for Renault. Our contrast coming around the final corner now. Over that deadly bump through the final corner of the Suzuka circuit. He's going to move into P5 for Ferrari. 40's going to move into P6 as well for McLaren. Ahead of Stuart McKenzie. The gaming wafer wasn't able to get a decent lap then. He's unfortunately a few seconds off the pace. Dr. Dre, also known as Andres. We have a few new drivers here this afternoon as well. Joining us, we have BKXI, who is one of our reserve drivers, but I do believe he'll be racing a little bit more. That's a voice crack and a half, but anyway. And also PG Ruler, I think that's how it's called. He unfortunately just retired from the session, so that's going to be unfortunate for him. He's going to have to start at the rear of the grid, but anyway. Final corner he goes now. Does BK, he's going to come across the line, opening DRS nice and wide. He's going to move himself up into P10, the last of the drivers to set a lap. That's not very competitive there from the harsh driver. Hopefully he can move up a few more spots. Dr. Dre still yet to set a lap. Plebs seems to be on a lap at the moment, so we're going to run on board with him as he's coming through the middle sector. With this long right-hander heading into Spoon Curve, he's about to go. Brake for 50-meter board, if not later. Very easy to lose a car on the curves, which he nearly did, but manages to save it using all the exit curve. Pleb does in that Renault under the Rolex sign. He goes down the straight, heading into 130R. Flat out in a modern day F1 car. You want to keep it as tight to the left as possible. You don't want to run out too wide because it's just adding track length that is not necessary. Into the final chicane. He's actually lost the rear now, has Plebs. So unfortunately he's lost the rear traction there massively. So that's he's gonna have to abort that lap and come in for another set of soft tires. Currently the majority of drivers are out, or in the pit lane I should say. BK is actually out on the track at the moment, but so is Spilly. So we're going to ride on board with Spilly as he's coming through sector 1 through the S's. He goes. He's actually made a mistake there, Spilly, so he did mount that inside curve at the end, the final S section there, so that's what pushed him out wide, and he unfortunately is going to have to abort this lap. The majority of drivers are in the pit lane now. They are going to be wanting to set or begin their second run. I think BK may potentially be coming into the pits. Yeah, he is coming to the pits. Is the harsh driver. Doesn't have any fuel left, I do believe. You see Dr. Dre 3000 is now on his out lap. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. We're going to ride on board with Dr. Dre in the Red Bull as he's going to come around the final corner now, opening DRS nice and wide to start his first lap of the Suzuka circuit qualifying session. Or the Suzuka Grand Prix, that's not right. Japanese Grand Prix. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him, so hopefully, I do believe that's Crossy. It's Crossy, so he needs to get out of the way, to be honest, and hopefully doesn't get in his way. I'm not too sure if he's actually realised he's got out of the way of the Red Bull. Going through the S's now does Dr. Dre 3000. Now Swaggy's actually moved up into P2 for Alfa Romeo. Nice job from the Alfa Romeo team. And Swaggy himself, he's 1/10 off our pole sitter at the moment, Pete Crichton. The majority of the drivers are on their out lap as it stands. Runs a little bit wide there, does Dr. Dre. It's going to cost him down this next straight, heading into Spoon. Gets Spoon, pretty nicely done. Runs a little bit wide on exit though. And now he's heading up into 130R, is the Red Bull driver. Flat out in the modern day F1 car, you don't want to run it out too wide like he nearly did a little bit too wide. Just adding track meters that is not necessary. Heading into the final chicane. Dr. Dre goes, he's coming out of the final corner now. Goes over that bump, keeps it nice and narrow to minimize the track distance, and he moves himself up into P7 there. Nice shot from the Red Bull driver. But as it stands with just under 9 minutes remaining, it's P. Crine that leads away. At the moment, he is on his second time lap at the moment. Swaggy is MP2 at the moment. He just finished his lap, so I do believe he'll be coming in for another set of tyres. F1 Amazing Hour at the moment. The other title contender with P. Crine at the moment, sitting MP3 for Williams. Doesn't get the hairpin, nicely done there. Doesn't get to the apex and runs it a little bit wide. Extra Evolution sitting MP4 at the moment. He's heading into the hairpin. Let's see how he gets this. Gets to the apex nicely and accelerates out of the corner nicely. Doesn't use all the track on exit, but manages to get through there nicely. Spilly is in P54 Racing Point, who's on an outlap. So is our Contrast F1. Dr. Dre just finished his lap, moving himself up into P7. P8 will be 40.22 in the McLaren, ahead of Stuart McKenzie, who's just been pushed down because Harry Tomato's gone up into P8 for Alfa Romeo. So currently Alfa Romeo are sitting in P2 and 8. That's not a bad job from the Italian team. So the Swiss team, I'm not too sure where they're actually located, but anyway. Todd Stuff in P11 at the moment. He's going to be wanting to improve. He's actually 4/10 up on his time at the moment, as it's set at the top right hand of your screen. Pete Crine extends his lead. He may have actually just invalidated his lap time there, did Toddy. But anyway, he's going to come across the final corner now, onto the straight, opening DRS nice and wide. Whether it's going to move the Renault up to, it's going to go into P7. Hello New Zealand Ryan, welcome to the stream. This is the gaming wafer, who is on a lap. I'm going to do this because I don't want to listen to that noise for the rest of this lap. Anyway, he's going to come across the line now. Is the gaming wafer in the Red Bull. Wes is going to move him up to into P6. Nice shot there from the Red Bull. It's a nice shot here of turn 1 and 2. Swaggy is on an out lap. Pete Crine, I do believe, is on an in lap, as he just improved his time from a 1 minute 27.6 to a 1 minute 27.5. F1 Amazing Out didn't seem to have improved on his laps, so now that keeps Spilly in P2 at the moment. Extra Evolution as well, still holding on to P4, same as Spilly. So every driver has managed to set a lap at the moment, besides our new driver of PG Roller, I think that's how you say it. I'm never going to get that right, but anyway. He unfortunately retired from the session on his out lap, I do believe. So he was unable to set a lap, but Spilly is on a lap here. He's heading on the exit of the final set of the seconds. He's actually through the middle sector. I thought he just started his third. I don't know why, but anyway, through the hairpin he goes. Doesn't seem too bad so far from the Racing Point driver. Runs it a little bit wide through that long right-hander than I think he should have, but braking just after the 50-meter ball, gets it turned in nicely. A little bit wide, didn't get to the curb that I think he, as much as I think he would have liked to. But now Contrast has moved up into P5, so very nice shot there from the Ferrari. But currently there are only 4 drivers at the moment that have managed to get within that 1 minute 27 mark. And then they are Extra Evolution, F1 Amazing Hour, Swaggy and P. Crumb. But we're going to ride on board with Spilly as he's just completing his lap now. 5 minutes and 30 seconds remain in the session. Where's Spilly going to move up to? He's going to replace Contrast's spot. And they're going to swap spots around. Spilly's going to go to P5 and Contrast back down to P6. See, Plebs is now starting a lap. And you know he's coming into the pit lane, so he's on an in lap, I do believe, is the Renault driver. Contrast is on an in lap. Spilly, I think, he is on an in lap. What's Swaggy doing? Swaggy's on a lap, I do believe. He's 400th of a second up on his time, as it's set at the top right of your screen. Motorsport Fan 145, welcome to the stream, mate. Runs a little bit wide through the first part of Spoon. And a little bit wide again through the second. Doesn't get on the gas very early compared to other drivers either, but we'll see what his split is when he comes into Sector 3, which should be about now. He's 7/100th of a second up on his time. So he's going to have to find a little bit more time in that car if he wants any chance of getting pole position off P. Crine. He's coming through the final corner now. Keeps it narrow. What time is he going to set? He's going to move into the 1 minute 27.6s. So now he's got 0.2 of a second between him and F1 Amazing Hour. Four minutes remain in this session for the Japanese Grand Prix. Few of the drivers will be heading out for their final run very shortly. Dr. Dre trying to get his run in with some clean air. So this will most likely be his final run. He is on the soft tyre. Every driver opting to use that softest compound of tyre. Surprised no one decided to use the mediums. Normally that's what F1 Amazing Hour would do. Normally go onto the mediums when everyone else is on the softer tyre, but obviously not in this case. Dr. Dre. Pretty scruffy second sector here from the Red Bull. We'll see if he's up on his time when he crosses the sector line heading into 130R. Through Spoon he goes. Gets it turned in nicely. A bit cautious heading into the second part of Spoon though. Slowed it down a lot. Uses all the exit road available. Wouldn't be surprised if he invalidated his lap there, but he's still going. So the sector split should come up about now. He's 1/10 up on his time, so that if he can improve a little bit, he may be able to move himself up ahead of Toddy to split the two Renaults in P9 and 8. See what he manages to do. Through the final corner he goes. Keeping it nice and narrow, open DRS nice and wide. He improved on his time, but unfortunately wasn't enough to get past Toddy in P9. He is 5/100ths of a second between him and Toddster in the Renault. I apologise if the stream is lagging a little bit too. I don't know why it is, but looks like BK, one of the new drivers, is on a lap at the moment. We're going to ride on board with him as he's coming through the S's. He's actually spun around now. He mounted that curb as Billy did mount at the beginning of the session, so that's going to be the end of BK's qualifying session by the looks of it, unless he can get around quick enough to get another lap in, which his tyres are going to be very dirty. But anyway, see the top three are all out now on their outlaps. Extra Evolution now, MP4 is going to be wanting to improve on his time. So the gap between him and Amazing Hour are 4/100ths of a second exact. Little tight battle there between the Toro Rosso and Williams team. There's a Alfa Romeo in front of Revolution of Swaggy, so hopefully he gets out of the way. I don't believe he is on a fast lap. He's not on a fast lap, so he does need to get out of the way. Alright, he does manage to get out of the way. It was probably a bit late by Swaggy, but anyway, don't think it would have cost Revolution too much time. Heading up to Spoon now, does Revolution. Nice and deep into the first part. A lot of oversteer on exit though of the Spoon curve, and unfortunately that is going to ruin Extra Evolution's lap there. So he may get enough time, if he hurries up here, he may get enough time to get back around. But I think he's trying to get out of the way of other drivers, to be honest. See Spilly's trying to start a lap now, he's trying to get a bit of a gap to the drivers in front. But P. Kreiner is also on a lap now, he's beginning his. F1 Amazing Hours ahead of him. He's already in the hairpin. He's 8/100ths of a second up on his time, so that's not going to be enough if he wants to get onto that front row of the grid. Revving it out in 7th gear, heading into Spoon, runs wide at the first part of Spoon, as we've seen many drivers do. Doesn't use all the track on exit though, so that's pretty surprising from Amazing Hour. Normally he uses every millimetre of the track. But anyway, heading into 130R now, he heads, keeps it nice and tight. Break between the 100-metre board and the Pirelli banner. Coming across the line now, goes Amazing Hour. Is he able to improve on his time? He's not able to beat P. Crichton, so he's going to have to settle for P2 or worse. Swaggy is on a lap as well, but we're going to ride on board with P. Crichton as he's heading into the third sector now. He's 1/10 up on his time, so he'll be looking for around a 4, potentially a high 3. If he can improve a little bit more on his time, he's 2 2/10 up on his time at the moment, so he could be looking for a 2 potentially at this stage. Final sector, or final chicane, he heads. Coming across the line, gets a lot of oversteer on exit. What time's Amazing going to do? He's going to do a 1 minute 27.4. Unfortunately, lost a little bit of time in that final sequence of corners. What's Swaggy going to do? He's coming through 130R now. He's probably the last driver that can potentially get up into that front row. He's got his teammate in front of him. Won't give him too much of a tow, but I think Harry Tomato's also finishing a lap. He goes to P8 as Harry Tomato, and Swaggy retakes P2 of F1 Amazing Hour. So that looks like it will be your grid here for this afternoon's Japanese Grand Prix. It will be Pete Crichton sitting on pole position with Swaggy alongside him in P2. F1 Amazing Hour is going to have to settle for P3. With X Revolution in the Toro Rosso, will be starting alongside him in P4. P5 will be Plebs in the Renault, with the other Renault-powered car McLaren sitting in P6 of 40. Felt very quick that qualifying session, I'll be honest. As you can see, the provisional results on your screen now. For the Japanese Grand Prix, P. Crichton took our pole position ahead of Swaggy Amazing Hour, Revolution, Plebs 40. Gaming Wafer came home P7 for Red Bull, nice job from him. Then you got Spilly lining up alongside him. Then it will be Harry Tomato in P9, and then rounding out your 5th row of the grid will be the Ferrari of Eye Contrast F1. Stuart McKenzie will be the first driver to have a fresh set of tyres, or a fresh choice of tyres, I should say. He'll have Todd Stubb alongside him in the Renault. Dr. Dre in P13, 14th Crossy, BK, and P. Durilla, who unfortunately did not set a time. I'm going to let the drivers now head over to the grid for the Japanese Grand Prix. Now the drivers, you can see now the drivers are heading out for their formation lap. Clouds do look like they're actually lingering over the Suzuka circuit, so there could potentially be some rain for us in this afternoon's 27 laps around the Suzuka circuit. Let's get in the live chat now. Let's who's that? Matthew, are you wanting to join? Did you sign up for Oceania? Because I think you should be able to. But either way, let's get in the live chat. Let's get your top 3 predictions for the AOR Hype Energy PS4 Oceania League. Let's get in the chat. Top 3 predictions for the results. Stuttering a bit there. Anyway. P. Crichton doing a pretty quick formation lap, trying to get around. So you can see BK and P. Driller, I think that's how you say it. The 2 new drivers of this league, unfortunately, were not able to participate in the formation lap. As you can see, Crossy's heading into Spoon now, and this is Pete heading into 130R, so he hasn't got too much of a gap from him and the back. I'd probably, if I was him now, I'd start slowing down a bit just to bunch everyone up, which I think he is doing. Trying to get some heat into the rear tyres. Trying to bunch everyone up so you can keep optimal tyre temperatures for the start of the Grand Prix. Pete 40 and Plebs is Chris's prediction. Motorsport Fan reckons F1 Amazing Hour first. Sideshow Prod reckons Pete Swaggy Plebs. Motorsport fan reckons Swaggy will be P2, so Amazing Al, Swag, and who's your third? Motorsport fan? Contrast F1 will be your third. Okay. It's not a bad choice. Contrast will have a bit of work to do, considering he is down in P10. Now we're going to wait for the light sequence to begin. Green flags have been waved. See, the light sequence is beginning now for the Japanese Grand Prix. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And they are underway. It looks like P gets a very nice start there. He manages to get ahead of Swaggy, but Swaggy's actually trying to maintain his position off F1 Amazing Out, because Amazing Out got a better launch than him, but he manages to stick to P2. Looks like there's been no incidents. Harry Tomatoes dropped a few positions back down to P11, but P Crichton leads away, heading into the S's on lap 1. Extra Evolutions managed to hold on to P4. 40's moved up a position on Plevs for P5. Plevs has gone back down to P6. No incidents, it looks like. So far, just drop down the back to see what's happened. BK and P Driller are still sitting at the back of the grid, so they're going to have a little bit of work to do. But it looks like Extra Evolution might try and make a move here on F1 Amazing. Yeah, he thought about it, definitely. Looked like he was really close, exiting that double right-hander. But P-Crunch still leads away. Heading into the middle sector they go. He's got 6/10 of a lead at the moment on Swaggy behind him, but he's also getting a lot of pressure from F1 Amazing Al. And Amazing Al's getting a lot of pressure from Extra Evolution behind. Heading down the back straight they go now. Heading into 130R, about to jump into Sector 3. Swaggy was actually really close with Amazing out there. They're going to go side by side, heading into the final chicane. Swaggy pushes him out wide, and he manages to hold it onto P2 for the meanwhile. But it will look like Amazing out will have the slipstream. Down the straight, will he be able to make a move? P. Crichton goes fastest as he is the first driver to complete a lap around this Suzuka circuit. They're going to go side by side, heading into turn 1 is Amazing out. And Swaggy, it looks like Swaggy manages to hold on to P2 for now. Looks like that's the gaming wafer starting to cause a little battle back down in P8 here. He's got Stuart McKenzie and I Contrast behind him. That was actually a driver there. I think that was F1 Amazing out that actually ran a little bit wide there on exit. I need to learn the corner numbers because I'm just going to keep getting that wrong. Looks like there's actually a bit of passing or overtaking going on here. Contrast is right on the rear of the gaming wafer. I think Stuart McKenzie's just dropped a few positions. He's got back down to P12, and it looks like he's just getting overtaken around the outside by Todster and Harry Tomato, as he was right on the back of Contrast, and now unfortunately he's gone from P10 to P12. Looks like Contrast will be in the slipstream of the gaming wave. Doesn't look like he will be close enough to make a move, unfortunately. Heading into the final chicane, but he may be able to make a move. Heading into turn 1 if he stays close enough to the rear of that Red Bull. Maz, yes I am. I'm in Brisbane, so I'm nowhere near the fires at the moment, if you're saying that to me. Is assists allowed? Yes, assists are allowed in this. I think it's only no racing, corner racing line is not is the only, sorry, full racing line is the only assist not allowed, and pit assists, or the pit assists, etc. are not allowed. The traction control, ABS, etc. are all allowed. P. Crichton still leads away. He's got a 1.8 second lead at the moment between Swaggy. But there's actually a pretty big battle pack going on at the moment. There's Swaggy, F1 Amazing Hour, Revolution, 40, Plevs, Spilly. And then there's a little gap between Spilly and Gaming Wafer, but he has Contrast right behind him. Harry Tomato's fallen off a little bit. He's got Todster right behind him as well as Stuart McKenzie. Crossy is trying to catch up to that battle pack there, but Stuart McKenzie thinks about making a move on Todster, heading into the hairpin. But he's actually spun around now as Todster. Toddy's in the wall. So I'm not too sure. It didn't look like on my view there that McKenzie was hitting Todster, but potentially there could have been a bit of lag involved there. But now Todster's unfortunately struggling to get out of the wall there. Hopefully he can get into the pits quickly enough and hope for a safety car. probably be his best bet. Still, Swaggy is managing to hold on to P2 at the moment. P. Crichton just extending his lead. This is not good for Amazing House Championship at the moment. He cannot let P. Crichton get any... Well, he cannot let P. Crichton finish ahead of him at all, but it looks like Amazing House is in the slipstream. They're going to pull out. He's going to go side by side, trying to go around the outside into turn one. He's going to be side by side, but Swaggy manages to keep the momentum up and go side by side. Still heading into turn three, they go. They're still side by side. Heading to turn four. They made contact there. Has the drivers, and that's Swaggy and that Ford Amazing House going off. On the exit, one of them had to yield, but none of them did. So unfortunately now, Swaggy's dropping back massively. He's gone back down to P10. Torts has had a 5-second time penalty. Force meeting in the pit lane. F1, that's honestly a racing incident there. Amazing Hour or Swaggy had to back out, but neither of them did. So people will be laughing at the moment. He'll be so happy that Amazing Hour is dropping positions massively right now, but that moves 40 and Plebs up in a P2 and 3, so now the battle for P2 has completely changed. Amazing House managed to keep up the momentum and keep in that battle pack, but unfortunately Swaggy potentially could have got a bit of front wing damage there, so we're going to the voice crack, holy crap, we're going to ride on board, or the TV cam, we're going to see if he does have any visual front wing damage. It looks like he may have a little bit of damage. Oh no, I think that's just the front wing, never mind. But unfortunately, our first retirement of the Grand Prix is Todd's the 99 in the Renault. That's unfortunate there for the Renault F1 team, but P. Crichton's now got that gap out to just under 5 seconds. This battle is still going on between Plebs, 40, Spilly, F1 Amazing Hour. Moment Gaming Wave is starting to hold up contrast. At the moment, the Harry Tomato's fallen off that little battle pack there, but he's got Stuart McKenzie still right behind him. He has got DRS, has McKenzie. Will he be able to make a move into turn one? He's gaining massively. He's going to try and make a move into turn one. Does Stuart McKenzie? Does he get the move done? They're going to go side by side into turn one, and Stuart McKenzie gets the move done into P8. He goes ahead of the Harry Tomato. And now Swaggy's got his teammate in front of him, the Harry Tomato. Extra Revolution now has a 5-second time penalty. Force meeting in the pit lane. So I think I don't know why Revolution's coming to the pits, but anyway. P. Crichton still leads the way, still extending his gap. Dr. Dre, I should say. Down in P11 has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. Just make sure that's not one of the drivers. I don't think it will be. I think it's just the local yellow. But anyway. Then again, I do apologize if the stream's lagging a bit as well. I keep getting notifications saying that it's lagging, so I do apologise for that in advance, but it looks like Spilly and Amazing Hour have swapped positions. Amazing Hour's moved himself back into that top 4. Seemed like a pretty easy move actually, because he did get that move done pretty early down that back straight, heading into 130R. Spilly will obviously have the DRS. He is running in low at the moment, so I'm not too sure if he's just going to try and sit behind Amazing Hour for a while or not, because Gaming Wafer is a little bit behind at the moment to make a move. But now Amazing Hour has his eyes on Plebs and 40 in front. P. Crichton nearly running into the grass, so that was very close to spinning the car around or just losing the car into the gravel from P. Crichton. Under the Fanatec board, or the bridge I should say, he goes into the hairpin. Brake just at the beginning of that F1 2019 signage on the right hand side of the hairpin. Going to keep it as tight as possible through this low right hander to minimise track distance. Heading into Spoon. P. Crichton goes crossing now as a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Ran a little bit hot into the first section of Spoon there, did P. Crichton. You can see had to straighten up the steering to correct the slide very minimally. Very slightly I should say. 130R he heads. Brake between the 100 and the Pirelli signage. Cuts that corner very slightly. That could potentially have given him a warning. P. Crichton now starts lap 7. There is 20 laps remaining in the Japanese Grand Prix. Plebs and 40 are still going at it. Plebs is going to have to get a bit of a move on if he doesn't want to lose that position. 2 F1 Amazing Hour behind him. So Spilly is trying to keep within that DRS and slipstream of F1 Amazing Hour. He was within DRS range there, but Stuart McKenzie looks like he's got ahead of Eye Contrast here. So they're going to be swapping positions. McKenzie looks like he's the quickest out of this battle pack at this stage. Ford P6 between Gaming Way for Contrast and Stuart McKenzie. So Plebs is definitely going to have to get a move on now, because Amazing Hour is going to catch right up to the rear of that Renault if he doesn't start to make a move, and he will not be afraid to make a move, I'm sure. Heading through Sector 2 now, into the hairpin they head. Slight rear locking there from Plebs. She could hear in the audio cue. 40 taking a bit more of a later apex through the hairpin. Gave him better drive off the corner. But obviously Plebs is within the slipstream. He's a bit closer than he was last lap. He is a bit closer this lap than what he was last lap. Probably won't be able to make a move into the chicane, the final chicane, but he may be able to try and make a move or set up a move for turn 1. He's gaining on him, but he's not really using much ERS at the moment. That's 40. He's starting to really lag. I thought he was just disconnected there. Much deeper under brakes is Plebs heading into the final chicane. He's going to have DRS slipstream and probably will use his ERS here. I wouldn't be surprised. He got very good drive out of that final corner there, did 40. Amazing Hour still sitting at around that 4/10 mark between him and Plebs. Spilly's unfortunately fallen off that little battle pack for P2 now. He's going to start to potentially fall into the hands of Stuart McKenzie and Gaming Wafer, but Stuart McKenzie making another move into P6. He goes for Williams. He's on fire at the moment. He's making a lot of moves. Where did McKenzie start? He's gone up 5 positions, so he did start P11, I do remember. Oh, well, he is on fresh tyres. That's probably why he is going a lot quicker than the other drivers at the moment. Amazing Hour now has a 3-second time penalty for multiple corner cutting warnings. And I'm pretty certain the 2 drivers in front of him do not have a time penalty, nor does P. Crichton. So that could potentially come into play coming towards the end of the race. Pete's now got a 5.7 second lead on 40. As you can see, the old pit lane. P. Crichton's passing now. And there's 40 now just on the exit of where P. Crichton just was. He's got Plebs still right behind him. Let's have a look. 40's running in overtake at the moment, and Plebs was running in none, so he's definitely trying to save a bit of ERS here, is Plebs. But he can't be sitting behind 40 for too long, because this man, F1 Amazing Hour, will capitalise on him sitting for too long. He's a bit closer than what he was last lap. He's going to be in DRS and a better slipstream. Probably won't be able to make a move into turn 1 by the looks of it. He's gaining massively on 40. Will he be able to make a move? Will he dive? He thought about it. But unfortunately, if there was probably another 20 more meters of racetrack there, I reckon Plebs would have gone for that move. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3. I want to see what that's for. Not too sure what that was for. Fordy's actually just made a massive mistake there. He's just got a lot of oversteer on the exit of the S's. That's going to cost him a little bit of time to Plebs. Still McKenzie is now gapped. The Gaming Way for Contrast and Swaggy. Swaggy is actually now onto the rear of that little battle pack for P7. I do believe it is. Yes, it is. So McKenzie's going to try and catch up now to Spilly and that racing point. Good to see a couple of drivers battling it out for the podium this time. Unlike some of the other races where it's pretty much been this man and P. Crichton. Anyway, you can see Amazing Hour running in no ERS, trying to save as much as possible. 40 definitely would have been running an overtake just to stay ahead on the straight. You can see he's doing much later apexes there than Plebs. He's actually going to try and do the undercut now. Here's Plebs on 40. He's going to get out of that battle pack, obviously costing him too much time. So now the Renault driver's coming into the pit lane. What tyre will he be going on to? Can't actually see what tyre that was, but there's actually a couple of drivers coming to the pits. That's still McKenzie, surprisingly. I would have thought he would have been staying out for a bit longer, considering he did start on fresh tyres. Swaggy is now in the pits as well, but what tyre did Plebs put on? He put on the medium compound of tyre. So will we see 40 react to that pit stop? Wouldn't be surprised if we did. Potentially even some other drivers as well. I definitely would have thought that we would see Stuart McKenzie stay out for a bit longer, considering he was the first of the drivers that had a free choice of tyres, as he did start P11 in this Grand Prix. Will we see P-Cron in this lap? Crossy and BK, I think, just swapped positions as well. I think BK might have actually ran wide at the exit of the S's. He's locked up a bit there. We're going to have to swap this over now to stop so we can see who's made a stop. Extra Evolution has also made a stop. So far, I think he is on the hard tyre. No, he's on the medium, so he's going to have to make another pit stop. But we're going to ride on board with 40 and Amazing Al. We're going to ride on board with Amazing Al to see if either of these drivers react to Plebs coming in for that undercut stop. 17 laps remain in this Grand Prix. Does 40 come in? They both do. Both these drivers come in. So now this is definitely going to be up to. We see Spilly coming in as well. Will we see Gaming Wafer coming in? He does come in. Contrast, does he come in? He does as well. Will we see Harry Tomato come in? Most likely, yes we do. Dr. Dre stays out for another lap, and now we're going to definitely ride on board with Plebs to see where he manages to come out compared to 40. So where's 40 at the moment? He's exiting the pit lane. Where's Plebs? He's coming down the straight now. Here's Plebs. Did he manage to get out ahead of 40? No, unfortunately, that one lap did not work, but it's going to look like he will have more heated tyres compared to 40. I think Amazing actually got balked in the pit lane, so he's going to have to gain up a few more seconds, 1.5 seconds, to catch back up to the rear of Plebs. Yellow flag in sector 1. That's unfortunate there for Plebs. Tried to make the undercut work, but 40 reacted to it nicely to stop that undercut from happening. There's still that yellow flag in sector 1. That's actually I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. He's unfortunately spun around at turn 5, I do believe that is. And that's actually the Gaming Wafer that I think just spun around as well at the exit of the S's. The P. Cryan actually has less of a lead. Actually, no, because Dr. Dre is yet to make a pit stop. So Dr. Dre and Crossy, BK, and the Ferrari MP15 have yet to make a pit stop. Otherwise, everyone else has. Will we see Andre in this lap, or Dr. Dre? He's actually on the medium tyres, I didn't realise that. So he will be going a bit longer into this race than some drivers. This is going to be very frustrating for Plebs at the moment. Being stuck behind 40. Ran a little bit wide there on the exit of the second turn. BK is now in the pits, as you can see at the left hand side of your screen. You can see that's Dr. Dre right in front of 40 there. And I think Plebs will want to try and get ahead of 40 before that even happens. He manages to get up to Dr. Dre. Now Swaggy and McKenzie are going at it, I think. Yeah, McKenzie just got passed there by Swaggy 291 in the Alfa Romeo. PG ruler. Alright, I'll say that. Sorry. PG ruler. Alright, I'll say that. Anyway, P-Cron's about to head onto lap 13 now. I think the two racing points are actually going at it. Now, I do believe Spilly managed to get ahead. And now Plebs, this is exactly what we were talking about before. Plebs took a little bit too long to make that move on 40, and F1 Amazing couldn't sit behind him for any longer. They're going to go side by side into turn 1. This is the battle for P4. None of them are giving it in. And it looks like Amazing is going to try and do the switchback maneuver, but Plebs manages to hold on to that position for P4 for another lap. So Mazian's got to sit behind Plebs for another couple of laps, potentially. Well, the rest of this lap at least. Now that's definitely not going to make Plebs happy now that 40 is probably going to get DRS from Dr. Dre in front of him. And also the fact that I think Plebs is out of DRS, and he is. He's at 1.2 seconds as at the moment. So Plebs is not going to be happy with that at all. Dr. Dre in front of 40 here. He's just got a 3-second time penalty for multiple corner cutting warnings. But Amazing House now actually got ahead of Plebs. I didn't actually see that. So Amazing House must have had the better run out of Spoon and the slipstream. But Plebs has actually got a pretty decent run out of here. Will he be able to make a move? He actually didn't. The secondary part, after he hit that bump, heading through that final right curve, he's got to save ERS now as Plebs. He's got 0 ERS. Well, no ERS to use. Yellow flag in sector 2. There's actually BK now that's spun around at the hairpin. Down in P14 for the Haas driver. It's all set sailing at the moment for P. Crichton. He's got a 6.6 second lead ahead of anyone else at the moment. I do believe everyone has made a stop except for Dr. Dre. And Crossy has not made a stop either, MP7. So as you can see now at the bottom of your screen, BK is now in the pits, and unfortunately he's retired from the session. Could this potentially bring out a safety car? That all the drivers would really, well, I definitely want to bunch everyone back up and start a bit of racing. Still that yellow flag in sector 3. Will they bring out the safety car? Doesn't look like it. So now that is our second retirement of the evening, or the Grand Prix I should say. Amazing House managed to get ahead of Dr. Dre. Plebs will not be happy with this. He'll be wanting Dr. Dre to get out of the way. This is going to be costing him tyre wear massively, and a lot of dirty air. And completely different strategies. There's no real need for Dr. Dre to hold Plebs up, to be honest. They're just holding each of them up. Yeah, there he goes. He gets out of the way. Probably a bit later than I think Plebs would have liked, but we're going to run through your order as P. Crichton's about to start lap 16 of 27. The 11 laps remaining when P. Crichton crosses the line. He leads the way at the moment. Swaggy, actually, we're going to have a look here because I think Crossy and Swaggy just made. Swaggy just moved himself up into P7. Well, Alfa Romeo, he's got Spilly ahead of him. Crossy's teammate, actually, in the racing point. Anyway, I'm going to go back to it. P. Crichton leads the way at the moment, heading on to lap 16 at 27.11. 11 laps remain in this Grand Prix. 40 is currently sitting in P2 at the moment, but he has a fast charging F1 Amazing Hour sitting behind him in P3. Plebs is sitting in P4 at the moment. It doesn't seem to be as quick as what he was, or as pacey as he was at the start of the race. He's definitely struggling with ERS management. Dr. Dre is still out and has not made a pit stop yet, as he did start on the medium tyres. Probably be wanting to think about coming. He'll probably have to start thinking about coming in pretty soon. Spilly is in P6 at the moment for Racing Point. Swaggy in P7, P8 Crossy, who has not made a pit stop yet either, as he did start on the medium tyre. Contrast in P9 so far. And rounding out your top 10 will be Harry Tomato for Alfa Romeo. Still McKenzie will be in P11. Looked pretty strong at the start of the race, but unfortunately wasn't able to show that same pace in the second stint. Extra Evolution in P12 for Toro Rosso. Unfortunately lost a position, so I'm not too sure where all his pace has gone. Same as the gaming wafer, so the Red Bull sponsored cars don't seem to be as quick as, or both the Red Bull sponsored cars, I should say, don't seem to be as quick as what they were in qualifying. But anyway, and then PG Ruler down in P14 at the moment, who was down a lap in this Grand Prix. As you can see now, Pete's about to start lap 17 of this Grand Prix. 10 laps remain for the Mercedes driver. Let me know on the live chat now your updated predictions, top 3 predictions for the Grand Prix. Oh yeah, that's correct too, it is. Rookie, no, I have a bad memory when it comes to remembering that stuff. That's right, because they did both spin out right here, I'm pretty sure. Thanks for reminding me. There's no real battle packs on track at the moment. The closest battle seems to be between Stuart McKenzie, Harry Tomato, and Extra Evolution. Gaming Wave has got a little bit of time. He's got to try and make up to catch up to that battle pack. This is the battle for P10, the last points paying position. And have a quick look to see also who has the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. It is currently Pete Crichton, the only driver at the moment within the 1 minute 30 mark. Rukina, Pete Plebs, and Amazing Hour. So we can actually have a look. I'll check in a minute what everyone's penalties are doing. Because actually Amazing Hour's getting closer. Now Pete's still going faster. He set a 30.4 that lap. Turn 1 they go. Amazing Hour runs a little bit wide through the second part of the chicane, but I think that's Dr. Dre now in the pit lane. It is finally. So is Crossy. Dr. Dre very lucky there not to get held up by the Racing Point. That's going to move Contrast up into P7 for Ferrari. 9 laps remain in this Grand Prix. And have a quick look here at the race director. See if anyone out of the top 3 have penalties. Pete's actually not got a single warning yet. So he's got he's got a bit of leniency he can take for the rest of this race. 40 has 1 3-second time penalty. Amazing Hour has 1 3-second time penalty. And Plevs does not have even a warning yet either. So that's the top 4 pretty much. Plevs is just out of that 3-second margin though at the moment. He's just got back under now. 2.968, so it's very marginal at the moment for Plevs. Motorsport fans' prediction is Pete Crichton 40 and F1 Amazing Hour. Actually, I think 40's made a mistake. He actually has hurt his feet. That's 40, and Amazing Hour is actually going around the outside. So the data was bugging a bit at the left, so I was trying to figure out what was happening, but Amazing Hour has DRS now, and he went around the outside of 40, heading into the final corner. I do apologise I didn't get that on stream. So now Amazing Hour's moved up into P2. That will not be a sight Pete Crichton will want to be seeing, but at this stage he will be taking home a full 26 points. Will Pete Crichton. So he's done the maximum he can so far, assuming Amazing Hour doesn't make a mistake at all. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. It's actually PG Ruler trying to get out of the way there of the other drivers, and he has lost his front wing, unfortunately. So 40's trying to keep with Amazing Hour. He does not want to let that P2 go away from him that easy. Runs wide though, that's definitely going to cost him down this straight. It's cost him massively. He's had to correct the steering massively there. Swaggy's actually now. Spilly has spun around the exit of the start of the spoon curve. So I think he actually had a little bit of a tangle there with Swaggy. So I'm not too sure what's happened there between the Racing Point and Alpha driver. 40 went into a half spin as well at the exit of the spoon curve, and Spilly went into a half spin at the beginning of the spoon curve. So I think 40 did that on his own though, but Swaggy may have had a little bit of contact there with Spilly. PG rule now has a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. 7 laps remain in this Grand Prix. So Harry Tomato now I think has actually spun around. Actually no, he's just lost a spot to Dr. Dre 3000, who is on a fresh set of soft tyres. So he's going to be very quick towards the end of the race. He's going to be catching up to his sister teammate X Revolution in the Toro Rosso. Then he's going to have Stuart McKenzie in front of him as well, who seems to be struggling very slightly. So Dr. Dre is definitely going to be one to watch coming towards the end of this race. Stuart McKenzie has just gained himself a 3-second time penalty. Plez has now got a 3-second time penalty, and I think that's actually Stuart McKenzie that has spun around. He has, so he's spun around. He hasn't spun around. He's off into the gravel at the exit of the double right-hander. Has he got any damage off that? That will be the interesting thing to see if he made any contact with anybody. Looks like he potentially could have done that on his own. Unfortunate there for the Williams driver. He was looking to pick up a few good points there in P8. The gap at the moment is just under 7 seconds between our two race leaders of P Crichton and F1 Amazing Hour, with 6 laps remaining in this race. I do believe Amazing Hour, I think, what did we say before? He only had 3 seconds worth of penalties, I'm pretty sure. Yes, he only has 3 seconds worth of penalties. So at this stage, 40 has 6 seconds, I'm pretty sure. So Plebs could potentially be looking for a good podium here. Oh, he has 3 seconds as well, so he's going to have to try and stay within that 3-second mark of 40. You see Stuart McKenzie down in P13 now, is trying, or has come into the pit lane. Five laps remain in this Grand Prix. Read back through the order. P Crichton leads the way. 6.4 seconds between him and Amazing Hour. So Amazing Hour is slightly catching up to P Crichton, but he doesn't really need to push us, Pete. He's got 5 laps remaining and not much pressure from behind, so he just really needs to bring it home at this stage. 40 is going to come home. Oh, sorry, 40 is sitting MP3 at the moment for McLaren. He's got Plebs MP4 behind him. Swaggy MP5. Nice recovery drive from the Alfa Romeo, considering that incident that he had at the beginning of the race. Spilly is in P6. And Icon Trust is looking like he's starting to feel a bit of pressure now from X Revolution behind him for the battle of P7. Dr. Dre is still struggling to catch up to his teammate, sister teammate in front of him in the Toro Rosso. Harry Tomato in P10, taking home the last point, but he does have Crossy on a fresh set of soft tyres behind him as well. P12 for the Gaming Wafer and Stuart McKenzie in P13. And PG Rule, unfortunately, a lap down for the Ferrari. Swaggy now has a 3-second penalty. 4 laps remain in this Japanese Grand Prix. I think Amazing Hour's actually made a mistake, because that gap went from 4.4 seconds to 5.8 very quickly, so Amazing Hour may have made a little mistake there. Yellow flag in sector 1. Wouldn't be surprised if that's I think that's Stuart McKenzie that's unfortunately spun around at the end point of the S curves. I believe they're called. Got out of the way of F1 Amazing out there, his teammate. Down the back straight, Pete Crichton goes. About to be 4 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. Actually, that's already 4. I meant 3. Still that yellow flag in Sector 1. That's PG Ruler. It's unfortunately spun around again. Let me know in the live chat who you think should get driver of the day as well. I normally just do it on whoever's gained the most positions, because I never can really decide. But at this stage, if we want to do it off that, it's currently Dr. Dre down in P9, who's got the most positions. He's up 4 spots as it stands. But let me know who you think deserves driver of the day for this afternoon's AOR Hype Energy PS4 Oceania League. Plevs still trying to get within that 3-second range, but I think Extra Revolution has now finally got ahead of our Contrast. Them swapping positions, but Revolution's run a bit wide on exit there. But unfortunately, it's only a one-way line through the S-curves. Currently the closest battle on track is between Extra Revolution and Contrast, but I think that battle has already kind of concluded, as Revolution's finally got past the Ferrari of Contrast. He'll have to settle most likely for P8 unless Dr. Dre can catch up. Got 2 votes for Pete at the moment and 1 for Dr. Dre. So hopefully I'll count all your votes, or however many people say whoever, in the chat, and we'll double check it at the end. If Dre gets 7th, then maybe. I don't think he'll be able to catch up to Extra Evolution, but he may be able to get Contrast in the end. 3 laps remaining in this Grand Prix, including this one. But currently we've got 2 for Pete, 1 for Dr. Dre, or potentially 2 for Dr. Dre. Pete Crime's about to start the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. He's definitely losing time at the moment to F1 Amazing out, but I don't believe he is pushing too hard. There's no real need to. He's got nothing he needs to... There's no reason for him to push. Riding on board with Plebs now as he's about to start the penultimate lap of the Japanese Grand Prix. Last chance to get your votes in for driver of the day. Bijon reckons 40. Still that yellow flag in Sector 3, I think that's just PG Ruler. Still this little tight battle between Crossy and Harry Tomato as the drivers are heading on to the penultimate lap as we just witnessed Crossy gain himself a 3-second time penalty for multiple corner cutting. Yeah, 40 does have 6 seconds worth of penalties too, we have to remember that. So Plebs could potentially be in contention here. If he can... Actually, no, he won't be. He's the second out at the moment. He needs to gain a second and a bit if he wants to get on the podium, if I'm correct. The Crossy is still right on the rear of Harry Tomato. This is definitely going to be the one to watch. This is the closest battle on track as it stands. Battle for the final points paying position. Under the bridge they go. Crossy's trying to force Harry Tomato into a mistake here. This is, as I said before, the final points paying position for this Grand Prix. Pete Ryan has now started its final lap of the Suzuka circuit. I kind of want to watch this battle between Crossy and Harry Tomatoes. Crossy's right on the rear of that Alfa Romeo. He's going to have slipstream down this back straight. No DRS available down this back straight, but there will be down the front straight. So I think Harry Tomato was running in hot lap there just to try and keep that racing point ahead of him. Looks like he's got a better run here. Has Crossy. He's in the slipstream. He will get DRS as well. He's going to have the run going into turn 1. He's going to pull out. He's going to go side by side. Heading into turn 1 is Crossy. Will he get the move done? He's ahead. Heading into turn 1. He moves himself up into P10. Does Crossy. Hopefully he can maintain that. But here's Pete Crichton. Led from lap 1. Looks like the majority of votes at the moment are for Pete Crichton. Then we got 4 votes for Pete Crichton. So at this stage it looks like Pete Crichton will take driver of the day. But he's going to just has to negotiate this final section of corners. Does lock up the inside front very briefly there. But he comes around the final corner now, does Pete Crichton. He's going to win the Japanese Grand Prix for the AOR Hype Energy PS4 Oceania League. Congratulations to the Mercedes team. F1 Amazing is going to come home in P2 for Williams. 40 is going to come home P3. I do believe he's actually just backed off a bit there, so that could potentially cost him, if anything. He does have time penalties. No, Plev's going to come home P4. He needs to make up a second and a bit if he wanted to stay ahead of 40 or get ahead of 40. Swaggy's going to come home P5. Nice recovery drive from him. I definitely personally would have picked Swaggy for driver of the day, to be honest, because he did a pretty good recovery drive after that beginning of the race. Spilly's going to come home P6, so 4 racing point ahead of Extra Evolution in the Toro Rosso. Dr. Dre is going to come home P8 on track, but then eventually Eye Contrast is going to move up into P7 after time penalties. Harry Tomato is going to come home P9, so Dr. Dre looks like he's going to finish P10 in the end. The Game Wave is going to come home P11 behind his teammate. Crossy's going to come home 12, and Stuart McKenzie P13. Congratulations to our podium getters. As you can see on your screens now, the provisional results for the AOR Hype Energy PS4 Oceania Japanese Grand Prix. Pete Crichton took out the win ahead. Hang on, sorry, give me 1 sec. Why is this not working? I think my screen's frozen for me. Never mind. Sorry about that. Pete Crichton took out the win ahead of F1 Amazing Hour 40 Plebs. Swaggy's going to come home P5 ahead of Spilly, Contrast, Extra Evolution, Harry Tomato, and Andre, or Dr. Dre, is going to come home P10 for 1 point in the end. I do believe Pete also had the fastest lap, so he will take home 26 points. Trying to minimize or maximize that championship hunt on F1 Amazing Hour. That didn't make sense, but anyway. And then it's going to be Gaming Way for P11, 12th will be Crossy, P13, Stuart McKenzie, P14, PG Ruler, and unfortunately our 2 DNFs being Todster and BK. That has been the AOR Hype Energy PS4 Oceania League. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry, I'm just trying to put the results in for the stream. If you guys are new around here, please do subscribe as well. My name is Expert, and I will see you guys next time.